Sadly, Yankee fan Chris Caney is here. Sorry, Chris. Sorry, what?
I blame Nick Wright.
Oh, because you
I
got
went
a
on his radio show last night, and he told me, you know it's over for the Yankees.
I was trying to emotionally prepare you. I was the doctor. I pulled you into the lobby.
At 8:05. I'm talking to Nick at 7:30. He said, you know it's over for your Yankees. I'm like, why does he have to be a bad guy?
I'm not a bad guy.
You are a bad guy.
Why can't you be optimistic? Every day.
I'm just accurate.
All right.
He's a monster on that radio, I'm telling you. Yelling at people and everything.
Got all kinds of sources, see?
He's a bully on the radio. He's a bully on the radio.
Yeah, well, invite me on your radio show and you can bully me back. I've known you for a year and a half. Ain't happened once.
Of all the must-see games on the NFL schedule this weekend, there is one must-see and cannot be interrupted for any reason game that should grab your attention. Patrick Mahomes and the undefeated Chiefs heading to New England to face the red-hot Patriots. And while Tom Brady has historically dominated opponents in Foxborough, he acknowledged the Chiefs pose an interesting challenge.
When we're playing a team like Kansas City, you know, we got to take advantage of every scoring opportunity because, you know, they are. You know, they've proven over 5 weeks that they can distribute the ball, and the guys who they're distributing to are making plays, getting the ball in the end zone. And, you know, we're going to have to match that. There's not a lot of margin for error when you're going against a team that's 5-0.
Look, usually we're asking how much pressure is on the opponent to keep up and match the New England Patriots offense. But for now at 5-0, you're asking the opposite. How much pressure is on the New England Patriots offense to keep pace with what we've seen Patrick Mahomes do?
Well, I think there's a lot of pressure on the Patriots offense to dictate the complexion of the game. And I think that starts with being able to control time of possession and being able to sustain offensive drives. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to help the Patriots do that. Having Julian Edelman back, Tom Brady's target in between the numbers on those slot option routes, being able to continue to move the sticks. Also, the emergence of Sony Michel, that running game, that'll be able to control things, keep that offense on schedule. When you look at this Kansas City Chiefs offense, I mean, personnel-wise, schematic-wise, when you look at the X's and O's, Andy Reid does a good job of getting the ball to the guys in positions where they can do what they do best. And so I don't know that defenses are going to be able to put up better performances than what we've seen the last two defenses to face that Chiefs offense do. The Jacksonville Jaguars last week played Pat Mahomes about as good as you can play him, didn't allow him to get his first or second read, whether it was man coverage, whether it was zone coverage. They did a good job of disrupting the timing. They did a good job of matching the receivers when they were in zone coverage. It almost looked like man coverage. But I say all that to say this. That Chiefs offense is going to be tough to stop. So you've got to make sure that you play a ball control offense. The best defense for that Chiefs offense is to keep them on the sideline.
Off the field. Denver played a great game against the Chiefs. Chiefs scored 27. The Jags played, I think, an honorable game against the Chiefs. Chiefs scored 30.
23.
23 well because of
Chris Jones interception.
Right. If you pick six, so the offense scored 23. The team got 30 in total. I do not think they're going to be able to hold the Chiefs offense under 24 points. But I still think New England they're 3.5 point favorites, and they should be, because it's not only that they have 10 days to prepare, it's not only that the Chiefs are coming off as physical of a game as you can play all year while the Patriots are coming off Thursday against the Colts. It's that the Pats offense is now fully functional, and the Chiefs defense has gaping weaknesses, particularly against the pass. They're 32nd ranked defense. They're 31st against the pass. They're not great against the run, but they're 23rd, 24th against the run. And when you have Edelman back, Gronk's there, Josh Gordon is now getting at least a little bit more of the playbook open up to him. And Sony Michel has shown in back-to-back weeks he's a credible rushing threat. You are going to have Tom Brady the full menu of options. And I would imagine Tom Brady's going to hurry to the line of scrimmage and then take his time. He's going to hurry to the line of scrimmage, maybe put some in motion to see what if the Chiefs are in man or zone, and then say, oh, okay, you're the guy I'm picking on. You're the guy I'm picking on. If the Chiefs don't force turnovers, which is something they've done well this year, but if they don't force turnovers, I don't know how they can hold the Pats under 31, 32, 35. And so that means they'd have to beat them the way they beat the Steelers, 42-37, something like that.
I think that it will be north of 50 points scored in this game. What becomes important, you guys talked about third down just a little bit. Third down is very important, but the red zone becomes even more important. New England, what they've done in the past is give up a lot of yards between the 30s, between the 20s, and then they tighten up once you get to the red zone. The reason why it becomes more difficult for New England going against the Kansas City offense in the red zone is because they can threaten you from all parts of the offense. They got speed on the outside. They can also run the ball with speed, which only a few teams have. Them, the Rams, and a few other teams run those speed sweeps. They also have the most effective wide receiver, someone who can affect the slot area, and that's a tight end in Kelsey. So how much more can Sammy Watkins give them in the red zone? Because they're going to take away one of the wide receivers in the red zone. So I believe it's going to be Kelsey. Then you have to have other guys who have to be able to score. When you're in the red zone, you can't settle for field goals against New England. I like Tom Brady, though, because he did give us a little insight, because people think all the time when they're going against other quarterbacks or other offenses that the other team doesn't pay attention. Tom Brady let us know, no, we do pay attention, and there is more pressure on us to be able to generate first downs, to keep the clock moving because of that offense that's out there. Tom Brady understands that. I believe the wild card in this game can be, and we never see it happen on a regular basis, I believe Kansas City has better special teams because of their returns. And if they can generate some field position off the return game, these are the types of things that make a difference in a Sunday night game. Wild card in this, Andy Reid has done well against the Belichick coach defense, even going back to Philadelphia. And this is the most talent that Andy Reid has ever had on one offense. So it's going to be interesting to see on Sunday night what Andy Reid, who has success against Belichick, what he does with the best personnel that he's had against Belichick.
And just real quick, when you mentioned the special teams, you can punt away from Tyreek Hill, but DeAnthony Thomas is waiting right there.
Yep.
He's a track star as well. And it seems like we were talking about this Sunday, watching football together. Like, this is the year of kickers being awful, just missed kicks, missed extra points. Harrison Butker, the Chiefs kicker, has the longest made kick streak in the NFL. So they aren't giving up points in that area either.
And football is not, for years we have told people, it's broken down into three phases. You got to win the offense, the defense, try to win the special team. It's broken to a third. With the new rules in the kicking game's not a third. It's about 10%, because most of the plays are negated because you kick it out end zone, the effort. You can just see games have changed now. So now if you have stabilized kicking and you have a decent returner, you can get a huge advantage in NFL games now because it is not split up a third, and a third anymore.
Is there something to be said for, yes, the Chiefs are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, with one of the hottest quarterbacks, with a head coach who's not afraid to take chances. But the Patriots are more experienced. They don't get rattled. They don't get flustered, or so the narrative says and states. How much of an advantage is that when it comes to these two teams facing each other?
Well, I think experience matters, and you can just look at the quarterback position, right? You talk about Tom Brady versus Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is going to inevitably struggle. He struggled a little bit last week. He had the 2 interceptions, and you see that he's seen some different defenses, some complex coverages, giving him a little bit of trouble. And defensive coordinators are starting to be a little more aggressive, understanding what Andy Reid is trying to do with Pat Mahomes and those skill position players. So you got to believe that Bill Belichick is going to do some of that. And CC, I think one of the big areas to focus on is the red zone, like you mentioned earlier, just because it's a condensed area. So you don't have to rely on athleticism and speed as much. And we know the Patriots defensively don't have a lot of either of those. So, but I think what Bill Belichick can do is run some trap coverages in that red zone, create opportunities for takeaways defensively. And if Tom Brady and that Patriots offense, they're scoring touchdowns, and then they can hold the Kansas City Chiefs offense to field goals, or better yet, even takeaways, I think that can dictate the complexion of this game as well. So that's something to watch, something to keep an eye on.
All right, Chris Canty, stick around. In a segment you are fired up about. Will Odell Beckham's comments have a lingering effect on the Giants? That's next on First.
What about this guy's comments right here? What about Lil Wayne talking about his quarterback? That's his quarterback.
Lil Wayne